Never, is it not? Is there anything else that he says? Search of the sapling. Yeah, okay, so he's just repeating his dialogue at this point. But yeah, basically, this guy, if we bring him Orphic tree sap and Orphic tree fruits, we actually saw one of those earlier at the crypt. It was that little purple thing on the ledge we couldn't reach. We can use those to upgrade our healing flasks, basically. Basically sort of like our Estus flasks in like Dark Souls. And unfortunately we don't seem to have any of those right now, so we can't really upgrade these. Oh, but hey, here's our old friend. Howdy, Shining One. Yep, it's me again. Scout by nature, wanderer at heart. I drift across these lands bringing news to the village. I move quicker than a hare on the run, so you might see me pop up here and there, if the coast is clear. Might be one day you'll catch me. Who's to say? Our aqueducts are frozen stiff, they are. Even our branch of the Orphic tree hangs on by a thread. Best head east, right past the village. Oh, okay, see, here's where this game had a bit of a... I think there's a bit of a typo here. This character that he's referencing is meant to be named Gadisto. So, Gadisto's got the key to the eastern gate, if you ask nice. Ain't no way forward without taking down them necromancer overlords. I've scouted their hideaways. Marked them clear as day on your map. There's 3 of them. Escargor, the overlord, Darkclaw, the corsair, and Dr. Guaradun. And mind this, if you're wondering what's next, just seek me out. I ain't hard to find. So yeah, like I said, if you're ever lost and need to know where you need to go, or if maybe you forgot you're carrying something, Saga here will let you know that you're carrying something important and where to bring it, or where you need to go to actually, proceed with the story. So yeah, this entire bit is going to be kind of full of exposition, because there's a lot of NPCs to talk to here. Let's go in here. Here we have the weaponsmith. Greetings. I'm known as Forgisto, utterly dedicated to the perfection of my craft. I can enhance your weapons, some improvements I can accomplish using my own knowledge. For further enhancements, I would require new data from emerald discs. Amaristo is a trusted colleague who works alongside me. He'd been speaking of a peculiar rock, and following the comet's arrival, he was nowhere to be found. Should you encounter him, please inform him that his absence weighs heavily upon us. So yeah, there's another side quest. We have to find the armor maker. Let's see if he says anything else. So weapons. Okay, yeah, he's just telling you more about the armor maker. Okay, but hey, he's the weaponsmith, so let's see if we can improve any of our weapons. So yeah, Mighty Blow. Concentrate to release a devastating attack. That's for 600. I kind of would rather get the 3-hit combo right at the start, because it's just more useful. Later in the game, I rarely ever use the Mighty Blow. So I'm going to go ahead and get that. And unfortunately, I will have to get the Mighty Blow to get this, which is much more useful. Extra armor plates. It increases our physical damage protection, so basically just a stock defense increase. Here we can actually check out what other weapons that we're going to get. So we have the bowgun and the hammer. I love how it says error 404. So yeah, oh, by the way, here's one thing that could actually tie this back to adventure just from looking at what the weapons look like. Let me ask you this. Back in the 80s, whenever you played adventure, what did you think the weapon was? Probably an arrow or something, maybe a spear if you were thinking about it a little hard. Some kids nowadays might think it looks like a pickaxe or something, but here we have 3 different interpretations. We have the sword, obviously. We have a bowgun, which could more or less double as the representation for the arrow. And then we have a hammer, which, if you kind of squint a little bit, you could see that, that as a hammer if you're carrying it from, like, maybe below or above. To, like, all, like, maybe 5 people who watched my previous video where I was having a drink and playing Adventure, you might have noticed that I have clearly played that game enough to where even shit-faced, I know that game's logic inside and out, so let's say I'm kind of, if nothing else, I'm the most fascinated by this game out of anyone else playing it. So yeah. Let's get out of here. Oh yeah, by the way, here's these little dummies we can actually test out our new moves on. Look at that. So good. Okay. But yeah, we got extra people to talk to. Here we have the mayor's house. Yeah, this kid in the window, too. I miss my friends. I told them not to wander too far. So yeah, here's another side quest in this game. We have to find the missing Orphic children. So, you're the one of whom Saga has spoken of so fervently. Your gleaming armor may impress others, but it does not sway me. Remember, actions speak louder than appearances. Our community has faced such hardship, and we cannot afford false hopes. Our water supply systems have frozen over, and soon the cold may claim us all. Mechanisto, one of our own, ventured down to the frozen aqueducts via the elevator to inspect the machinery. He has not returned. The elevator remains absent, and the path is swarming with puppet soldiers. I cannot risk more lives. Perhaps you can find another way, east of the Duskwalker's tundra, before the entrance to the Euronymous pit. I entrust you with the Eastern Gate key. Prove to me that Saga's faith is not misplaced. Saga speaks highly of you, believing you may be the one from the ancient prophecies. However, trust is not granted lightly in these times. Nevertheless, for the sake of our people, I will entrust you with the Eastern Gate key. Here, if we talk to him again, some of our younglings are missing. I hesitate to ask, but perhaps you could help bring them back. There are still 16 kids missing. So yeah, they'll also tell you when, they'll also tell you how much more of stuff you have to find, which is also useful. But yeah, there's one of our other collectibles. We have to find the Orphic children, we have to find the interdimensional bootlegs, we have to bring Occultisto, the guy at the tree, we have to bring him the Orphic tree sap and the tree fruits. And here's a character you might actually miss if you don't go far enough, but also another important character. You might remember that little data cube that we have in our inventory here. Data cube. With sufficient data cubes, I might commune with the memories of the Orphic tree. We bring these data cubes from the obelisks to this lady. Oh. So, it might be that time once more. Turning of cycles, when we might choose whether the old songs are restored, rewritten, or forgotten. I think you are wise enough not to voice your questions, even if they linger in your thoughts. That would be for the best, for I might only reveal what has been presented to you, lest my role of remembering the old twist your role of bringing the new. Greetings. The echoes of time whisper once more. Just as I might hold the memories of all Orphics, you hold the power of all who have ever lived among us. If one were to hold both power and memory, the world might become locked in a loop unending. Those who remember all are bound by the knowledge of prior casualty, thus becoming a loaded die. Memories shape what we might call truth, and our truths shape how we interact with the world. To conceive new possibilities, one must forget the odds, or so it would seem. Echoes of time must be. I might have been a bearer of memory, though it feels distant now, like a fading dream. Those monoliths you found scattered throughout the land might hold the memories of the Orphic tree. By By studying their inscriptions, one could collect a memory in the form of a data cube. With sufficient samples of data cube, I might commune with the memories of the Orphic tree, and perhaps bring forth new ways of interacting with the world. This data cube you just gave me does not suffice. Perhaps when you bring me one more data cube, I will be able to craft something worthy of your efforts. So yeah, there was a lot of exposition dumped there. Basically, in plain speak, what she was saying is that she holds the memories of many, many years, many different sort of cycles of these events happening over and over again, and she doesn't want to front-load us with the knowledge that she has, lest we use that sort of knowledge in ways that would only cause the cycle to repeat once more. That's more or less what I get from this. So yeah, let's head out of town. I think that's pretty much all we have to find here for now. Oh, there actually is one other thing. If we go up here... Well, for one thing, we see this over to the edge here. That's another one of those interdimensional bootlegs. So let's go ahead and mark that. With, yeah, that's fine. Here we have something we'll be using a lot more once we find points for it. But this is a teleporter. And here we see all the areas that we have to explore. Oh, and over here we can actually see that that monolith that we got before. Each one of these, the inscriptions will actually be here. We won't be able to reread them, unfortunately. Maybe they'll patch that into an update, because it can be a lot to digest what these vague bits of information are trying to tell you, because once again, the game doesn't give you a lot of explanation in plain English. So being able to go back through these and reread them to parse out their meaning could actually be very useful. Yeah, we have a lot of these. And this will actually tell us how many of these we have yet to find. So yeah, let's just head back out. Because we have one other character to meet. And this is, in my opinion, the most fascinating character in this game. Once I get to him. Go back out to the Duskwalker's Tundra. Cut some grass to get some extra emeralds. I think, yeah, there's, well, not much to find. Hold on. Oh, shit! I hadn't been down here, I don't think. I don't think I even found this kid on my original playthrough. This is awesome. Okay, cool, we're finding new shit. Alright. You're a stranger. Strangers are always bad news. Are you here to set me free? How can I trust you're gonna free me and let me back to my home? I'll believe you if you answer my riddle. Two folks in danger. One you love, one who loves you. Who do you save? Go now. Now, you might have picked up on, through dialogue, our character is mute. He physically cannot answer these riddles. So, how do we figure this out? How do we voice the answer to this riddle? What even is the answer to this riddle? Do you know? Let's find out. You ain't saying nothing? Silence. That's the answer. Here, take my sleigh bell. I trust you. Open the cage and I'll head back home. So yeah, that little thing there, that was a bit of a weird riddle. Who do you save in that scenario? Someone you love or someone who loves you? It feels to me like there could be multiple answers to that question. In other words, that riddle doesn't have one solid answer. Keep that in mind. Because we'll get back to these riddles. Because these are more important than you would think to this game. Like, they don't do anything mechanically, but they're important to the setting and to what this game is trying to say. I'm not going to bother with him. I've learned my lesson. Here we go. You have another spear guy, who I think I can more or less circumvent just by jumping over him, because after we get away from him long enough, he's not going to bother us. Oh, here's another enemy that can give some people, give people some trouble. It's this little blue thing. Because it's going to spit at me, I can block that, but then if you slash it immediately as it starts rolling at you, you'll basically get it into a stun lock and it'll be dead. So it's simpler than it looks, and that's something that you'll find with a lot of enemies. You basically just have to learn how they work, and then you'll parse out the proper way to deal with them. There we go. Slice that up. Oh, shit. There we go. I keep forgetting these things are there because they just come out of these very subtle holes in the ground. They're complete assholes. Here we have some more thorns. Well, damn it. There we go. Oh, we have another monolith. There we go. Spider's dead. Oh, damn it, I have to kill this thing. Ow! Heal. There we go. Oh, fuck. Yeah, even in the late game, I just tend to avoid these guys, because even I haven't quite gotten their parry window down. I don't even know if you can parry them. They're just assholes. Let's see what this next monolith says. When a celestial flame befalls upon us that rest within the ground, one shall rise with ancestral light, bearing the power of mind and choice. Which seems to be referring to us. Because, I mean, that light did fall through into the crypt, and we did revive, and we seem to be special in some way. Here we see we have another spell over here. So let's jump over here. Your jump is more forgiving than you would think. There we go. Kill a little snake thing. And here we go. Next spell. And this one is super useful. Astral teleportation. Teleports you to the last save point that you used. This is incredibly useful. Just remember to actually save once you get there, because saving is the only way that you get your health back and your heals. I've accidentally forgotten to do that many times. Here we go. Use the Lux emitter. And let's drop down. Here we go. Is that everything there is to this? Yep. Seems to be all there is to this area. It's just that one spell. Oh shit. What the hell? We have what seems to be a guy with a jetpack fighting a dragon. How is no one else playing this? This is just awesome. And if you disagree, you're lame. Here, I'll have you, dude. Thanks for the assistance, stranger. I'm too weak to defeat these dragons right now. Even my lucidity seems to be fading, though that's to be expected when traveling between worlds. But it's much too soon. I wonder. Anyhow, I'll have to be quick about it before I forget. Listen. That dragon comes from my world, and he was not vanquished with our blows. It should be creeping somewhere else. They don't like to stay in one place, but they're creatures of habit, so they tend to lurk around the same areas. Watch out! Creepy little bat thieves. They're always near a dragon. They developed some kind of symbiotic partnership. You see, while you concern yourself with your life, they steal your goods. I think we're safe for now. Sorry, I think I accidentally skipped one of the lines of dialogue there. Let's see what else he has to say. Excuse me, could you tell me, where exactly are we? It appears I have no recollection of arriving here. My memories feel compressed, like thoughts folded into simpler forms. I remember wandering, striving not to lose a key on the path to a distant castle. Vast, almost empty spaces linger in my mind, populated by beings moving in patterns so arbitrary they mimicked randomness. I'm sorry, I'm not making any sense, am I? I have the most peculiar feeling about you. Some sort of connection, perhaps. Maybe I'll journey toward the very direction you came from in the first place. Take care out there, my friend. Yeah, this is Cosmonato. This guy, in my opinion, is the linchpin of this game. We see an astronaut fighting a dragon. He says he remembers things in vague forms, basically thinks sort of abstract symbols. His mind is jumbled, and he barely remembers things in very specific ways. Like, things take very abstract forms in his mind. He's very jumbled right now. What does that sound like to you? A guy fighting a dragon, striving to hold on to a key, and he's on his way to a castle. Anyone who's been paying attention, that's your guy. This is the main character from Adventure on the Atari 2600. And people would think, how the fuck does that make sense? That's like a weird top-down game in a medieval world, right? I think this game has actually managed to reimagine Adventure as a science fantasy setting. Okay, think about this. We always assumed that Adventure on the 2600 is top-down, because why wouldn't you? You know, we think about it like sort of a more abstract form of The Legend of Zelda, right? So, but what if we, like, flip that into a side-scrolling form? How exactly would you reconcile this sort of perspective while being able to move this character in all 8 directions and not having to deal with gravity? Here we have our answer. He's got a jetpack. This is something that I put together while I was playing this game, and as soon as I did, it blew my fucking mind. I've always wondered what Atari would do if they were to try and do another version of Adventure, because we see, like, they've done recharge versions of all of their, well, okay, not all, but a lot of their key games. Like, a lot of their most popular games, they've done recharges, and I've always wondered, what would an Adventure remake look like? I never in a million years would have guessed they would do something like this, and I think, personally, this is so ambitious and interesting that I've just absolutely fallen in love with it. And over the course of this playthrough, I hope you do too, because I think this is a very interesting game with a lot of interesting things to say about not just what its story is trying to say, but I think what it's trying to do is it's trying to make us think about the commonalities in action-adventure games as we know them in the modern day. And that's something that I never would have thought that they would try to do with the IP for adventure. It's right there in the title. Adventure. Adventure is about adventure. And what is this but yet another adventure, just in another world? I invite you to think about that. And maybe if you think this looks interesting, I really hope that you'll give it a shot and just be open to seeing the game for what it is rather than what you wish it was. You might be surprised. Anyway, I'm going to end this part off here. I hope you guys enjoyed. And, God willing, I'll see you on another time to do more of this. Because I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. See ya.